Illinois at Indiana. Our friend Danny Canel did say in his bold predictions before the season that this would be a college football playoff elimination game. And sure enough, when you look at the way that both of these teams have started the season, both off to undefeated starts, Indiana does not have a power conference win yet. This will be their first time really being tested. Illinois, on the other hand, did go on the road and pick up a victory against the Duke Blue Devils. Tom, I'm going to let you at least point us where you think. What place in this matchup do you start when it comes to the question, where will it be decided?
I've got no idea.
Nice.
It's a hell of a way to.
Yeah. Watch it. Check it out. Check it out on NBC Saturday night.
I mean, this is the problem when it comes to trying to figure out Indiana, because last year, like, the narrative is there, right? Like, they didn't beat anybody last year. They played 2 ranked teams and they lost them both and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But at least last season, while they played like a putrid non-conference schedule, they also had that road trip to UCLA early in the year. And while UCLA certainly wasn't a great team, the fact that Indiana went on the road and absolutely trounced another Big Ten team in a conference game gave you the sense early that, like, all right, this team might actually be pretty damn decent. This year, their non-conference has been Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. And Chip, I know you love Sagarin ratings, so here they come.
Let's go.
Old Dominion is 63rd.
Hey, listen.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Happens to also be the game Indiana struggled to finish drives in, though. And then Kennesaw State's 174th, Indiana State is 211th, and they just absolutely whooped the crap out of them. So I think Indiana is good. And I think that for the Hoosiers, a home game, a home ranked matchup for the first time in a billion years, a top 10 team coming to town, this is your chance to shut a lot of people up who still think that you're kind of a fraud. And a lot of people do still think Indiana's fraud. I don't. I don't think they were an elite team last year, but I think that when you're able to beat teams the way they were able to beat them, you got to be pretty damn good. And I still think this Indiana team, talent-wise, when I just look at what they have on the field, is pretty damn good. But you're never going to convince people to really hop on board globally or nationally until you start winning games like this. And I think that this is an Illinois team that is good. It's in the top 10 for a reason. It's won a game on the road against another Power 4 conference team by 26. But it's also an Illinois team with flaws. Like the last 2 weeks in that Duke game and even last week against Western Michigan, they got off to slow starts in the first half offensively. And then in the second half, they made some adjustments and they steamrolled. I don't think they can afford to get off to a slow start here. I think if you get off to a slow start in Bloomington with a packed house, like the energy and just the way that game's rolling, it could quickly get out of hand because this is an Indiana offense that I do believe is explosive. It has a quarterback who I do not believe is perfect, but is a quarterback with plenty of talent, plenty of like potential to be very good. And they have good receivers. They have a good offensive line. They have everything you need. You just need to see it against one of these teams. And it's hard to really know what to make of what the Hoosiers have looked like through 3 games because of that schedule.
Danny Canel joining us. DK, how we doing?
This is your blood pressure is a little elevated right now. Stuck in traffic. It usually only takes me. I was at shoulder rehab, so getting a little work done on my shoulder. And there was a storm out, so people don't know how to drive when it rains hard. But in any case, sorry about that.
Hey, no, we're all good. This is your college football playoff elimination game. You made it just in
time. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Told you guys this a while ago, and I think it does deliver at the Rock there at Indiana in prime time. This is a huge opportunity for both of these teams, I think, to showcase what they can do. I do feel like I trust Illinois better because I've seen them do it against at least somebody that I think is a better team than anybody Indiana has faced. I knew Duke lost the next game, and as Tom had pointed out, they did force 4 of those Darian Mensah turnovers. I trust, and you mentioned the explosive nature. I mean, Illinois secondary is really strong. Like, so I still think this might feel a little bit more like a slugfest Big Ten game. I don't know if either of these teams are really going to light up the scoreboard, but I think I trust Illinois better because I've seen them do this. I do think Mendoza's delivered so far, but we haven't seen him on the stage.
Is there anything that you feel like you can grab on? We were just talking about this with Indiana. I mean, do you feel like you know what Indiana is, especially compared to just the rest of the country? These other teams that we break down every single week, I've got games that I can go to and things I can pull from that help inform me of what I think we're going to see and how the matchup's going to go. I mean, is there anything that you're grabbing onto here for Indiana?
No, I mean, I feel better because of the pass game that worked against, who did they play this past week? Indiana State. Like, at least they got that aspect going. Is that, after the first game was kind of paying attention a little bit more against Old Dominion, which it wasn't exactly airing it out. Then it was, against much lesser opponents. So I feel better they had a clean game coming out of that one, but I still feel like there's a lot of question marks for Indiana.
Let's see. So, like, they seem pretty good offensively, right?
Mm-hmm.
They seem pretty good defensively. Mm-hmm. Still stout up front. I mean, Tom, how does this team not win by 30?
Because we haven't seen them do it against teams with similar body types yet. Yeah. And Illinois is the first team with a similar body type that we have seen. And they got trounced by Ohio State last year. The game against Notre Dame wasn't as close as the final score. We'll remember the fourth quarter, Sig smoked it through the filter there.
Yep.
And Illinois is not on Ohio State's level, and it's not on Notre Dame's level. So this is very much in fact, I mean, my power ratings have Indiana being better than Illinois. I know that's not how they stand in the AP poll, but Indiana I have as being a point better than Illinois. So they should be favored at home by 3.5 to 4.5, depending on whatever you think Indiana's home field advantage is. I do think this is very much a coin flip game because I do think Illinois, what they do have is they are an experienced team that's been together for a while. Like, everybody on this roster has been around for at least 2 years for the most part. The coaching staff has been there for the last 3 or 4 years. Indiana is still a lot of transfers on this roster. Some of the guys were there last year, but a lot of new faces are still coming in, and this is going to be the first time they've really dealt with another strong opponent, and you don't know how they're going to react to that until it happens. They could look fantastic. They could do to Illinois what they did to Nebraska last year. They could absolutely blow the doors off of them and suddenly find themselves in the top 10. They could also struggle and find themselves on the wrong end and lose in a close game, or they could get blown out. I have no idea. The one thing that's going Illinois' favor to me is Luke Altmaier is improving. Like, he was good last year. What we have seen from him through 3 starts, no turnovers from this Illinois offense. They're taking care of the football. The passing attack, they lost their top 2 receivers last year. Hank Beatty has stepped up, and he's been phenomenal for them. And they've got 3 or 4 guys that they are working to regularly. It's not just the 2 like they had last year. They're far deeper at the position. They're spreading the ball around more. Running back-wise, they have 3 good running backs. The concern is, and this was a concern last year, as far as like the power run game in between the tackles, Illinois struggled with that last year. Illinois is struggling with that again this year. It's the same offensive line. It's the same issues that they had. That could be a problem for them against Indiana, but this is still a team that is a pass-first offense. They don't need to run the ball well to win. In fact, Illinois typically doesn't run the ball well until the second half when it's already ahead of you. That's when things start going downhill because they just wear on defenses. So if Illinois is able to have a lead in this game in the second half, they've been a very good team after halftime. Every single week that they've played, that is the one thing that I have noticed. Their adjustments at halftime have been very effective. And I also think defensively, Aaron Henry now in his 3rd year as defensive coordinator, they've been far more adaptable to their opponent. Like, some teams, they will play a whole lot of man and just come at you and dare you to try to beat their secondary one-on-one. Then against teams like Duke, they're dropping back, playing deep zones, making you move the ball down the field with short little passes, seeing if you can be patient enough to do it. I think they're going to take that kind of approach with this Indiana team. I think they're going to see if Mendoza can dink and dunk his way down the field without either A, trying to take a shot that he shouldn't be taking and turning the ball over, or B, just, missing.
So I thought when they signed Roman Hemby out of the transfer portal, former Maryland running back, I was like, okay, that's your guy. And again, because of the way the games have played out, you're doing a lot more of rotation. But the law offices of Black, BB, and Hemby, I mean, they're just they've got to. So Black came from JMU. BB might have been an in-house guy who was there at Indiana. Of course, Hemby comes over from Maryland. But this is a trio of running options that I think their ability to run the football and have a couple guys do it is going to be something that's really, really important in this game. Illinois being able to defend the run is obviously something that starts, in my opinion, Tom, up front with the defensive line, and then just sort of, works its way from there. But if you want to look at a spot where Indiana might at home in a huge game, if they can get that ground game going, cycle in a couple of backs, keep everybody fresh, that'd be one way. Again, trying to pull as much as I can from non-competitive games. That'd be one thing that I think Indiana might be able to lean on in this matchup.
I will say, I mean, again, Illinois has played Western Illinois, Central Michigan.
Season. UAB transfer. That's right.
Illinois played Western Illinois, Central Michigan, and Duke. So there's one solid opponent in there. I will say their run defense so far this season has been much better because up front, I do feel like their defensive line is stronger. So they've been able to just kind of clog holes. And like last year, I felt like teams were able to run. The one area I think that I have seen with Illinois, and it was with Mensa, and I think Mendoza can take advantage of it, but I also think it's part of the way Illinois was playing defense in those games. Quarterbacks have been able to on RPOs and all that kind of stuff, quarterbacks have been able to gash them a little bit on keepers because Illinois is kind of crashing down hard on running backs in those plays, which is allowing the quarterback to move. So that's something I think Indiana's probably seen on tape, and Indiana's probably going to try to take advantage of with Mendoza because he is big, but he's a good athlete.
He's a real good athlete. You know why? Because we saw him running for his life last year against Cal. Something he hasn't had to do yet. That's another one. Like, he hasn't really been pressured yet. He's had really good protection. Everything's been kind of clean for him. The Ken Illinois make him uncomfortable with Gabe Akers coming off the edge, who also made life a little difficult for Darian Mensah. The dude is a game wrecker, so we'll see if he can do it in this game.
As we said with the last game, official wagers, of course, coming on Thursday's Locks Pod. But when you're looking at, we've got the spread and the total there on the screen right now. DK, you and I've got our little battle. On Wednesday.
It's getting close too.
I know. Chip had a good week 3.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What is this line? What does it tell you? What does your gut say in terms of leans?
My gut tells me I like Illinois in the points at the very least. Like, I think these two teams are really evenly matched. I think this game is a fourth quarter game that could come down to special teams and a field goal. But if it's over that that field goal number, then I like Illinois in the points. But like, to your question, I wouldn't be surprised if Illinois won the game, at all.
I lean over.
Interesting.
I think both of these offenses are going to have room to operate and have big plays.
Whoa.
I mean, just take advantage of the perception. The total should be a little higher, in my estimation.